You're struggling playing with both hands, but don't worry, your piano teacher Tim has you covered with some quick tips on how to make things a little bit easier. The first tip is that when you're first learning how to play with both hands, you want to learn the right hand first and then the left hand part. And you almost want to, if you're in the very beginning of things, really have almost the right hand part memorized and the left hand part memorized. And there's good reason why. This is a piece that was giving me some trouble recently, and what I did was I memorized the right hand part, because there's a lot going on here, even for me. And then the left hand, I really got it to where I could play it almost in my sleep. Now, why did I do this? Because I wanted to focus on the coordination between both hands rather than worrying about, oh, what note is this? Oh, what note is this? Oh, I can't play it fast, and my hands are giving me trouble. I obviously manage a lot better since I've been doing this for a long time. But when you're first starting out, get that right hand memorized, get that left hand pretty much memorized, and then put them together. But only doing the next tip, which of course is the number one tip of all time when learning piano, which is to go slow. A lot of students mess this up. They'll try to play. This is especially a problem if you're learning a piece you know really well that you've heard many times, a pop song or maybe even Jingle Bells. You know, when you're first learning Jingle Bells, you're like, man, this is so boring. It doesn't sound good. But then what you do, I'm just trying to mess up, but what'll happen is that it just won't be doable at full speed, and that will lead to actually more frustration. So it's way, way better to really go through it a few times slow. I know it can be kind of painful. It takes a little patience. Piano takes a little patience, guys. All right, but once you do that and then gradually increase the tempo, then it will work out a lot better for you. And if you're messing up, say you've been learning even a piece for a while, and you're like, man, what happened all of a sudden? I just can't play it. What should you do? Slow down. This next tip is super important and is something that even if you've been learning piano for a long time, you may not be doing. And that is using proper finger technique, meaning you're using the right fingers at the right times. One of the most basic ways to get used to this, which is actually going to be tip number 4 here in a second, is to learn your scales, because they involve simple finger technique. And then you will learn that if you want to play up and down the piano effectively, you're going to have to use the right fingers. That's the only way it's possible for me to do this. If I used any old finger, I have to actually try to mess this up since I've been doing it so long. See, my hands just stumble over each other, and it's just not possible. So I'm not going to get into the whole fingering technique thing today because it's part of a bigger video. But just make sure you're writing in the fingering that works for you and use that rather than just randomly shooting from your hip on the fingering. And it actually will even make a difference in your playing because it will help you smooth out those phrases. Another thing I'll have to just make a lesson on. It's not what we're doing today, but you get the idea. All right, on to the next tip. Next tip, as I alluded to a second ago, is to learn your scales. Not only do they have simple finger techniques, they also introduce you to crossings, which are super important. They also will help you get used to playing your hands in unison at the same speed. Believe it or not, when you first start out, you probably won't be able to do this very, very well. It depends on who you are, but I'd say 99% of us will even struggle to do this. But learning your scales will get you where you want to go. Then, what should you do when you're first learning your scales? Should you play them super fast, all over the place, as fast as you can? No, you need to play them slow. This next one I find a lot of people don't know about, especially if you're in the beginner stages, which is to slightly point your fingers in the direction you're moving up and down on the keyboard. It just gives you like a little bit more, I think, surface area to work with. So if I'm moving up my fingertips just gently, not like this, because then I'm going to get a cramp in my wrist here, and then the effectiveness wears off, because then your hand then is tight with the muscles. You generally want your hands, don't get me wrong, you want your hands curved. Even when you curve your fingers, actually, you're actually relaxing your muscles down to where they naturally fall. You're not like, you don't have your muscles engaged when you do that, because that will make things hard, and then that'll actually make your hands hurt over time. So if your hands are hurting when you're playing, try relaxing a little bit. But if you point your fingertips in the directions you go, so if I'm going up, going down, ever so slight tilt. I actually overdid it there for a second. And it really, really helps. It was a simple tip. I didn't learn this until I was in my 20s, and I tried it out. It took me a little getting used to actually implement it into a real piece, but it worked out so much better. If you found today's lesson helpful, what you need to do is you need to take that like button, you need to go wha-bam, and hit it and click on it. So thanks everybody for coming by. I'll see you in the next lesson.